Okay, time to relax with a new game before bed. Vampire Survivors? I guess we can try it out. It seems like a relaxing and chill game to enjoy.
I am a god! Nobody can stop!
Wait, it's all...
No właśnie, to mówię, przeklikałem dosłownie ten materiał, bo byłem ciekawy, czy to się w ogóle nada pod streama i tutaj może być fajnie, może być fajnie. Jak pamiętam, Vampire Survivors w ogóle odkryłem chyba 2 lata temu, plus minus, i był dosłownie taki moment, że ja później zaczynałem robotę, bo sobie z samego rana po siłowni wracałem i grałem jeszcze z pół godziny w Vampire Survivors. Także no, to podobnie jak Megabond gierka mega wciąga. No teraz z Megabondkiem już się pilnuję, żeby tak nie zrobić i grać na streamach, ale no tam wtedy pamiętam był pewien moment, że miałem problem.
Already 4 a.m. Well, I guess it's time to, I can make this in 3D. So I've spent 4 months so far working on a game that has the simple auto-shooting mechanics and crippling gambling addiction of Vampire Survivors. Mixed in with some Risk of Rain 2. You should definitely wish this my game on Steam, by the way. So, let's go back to the beginning.
No, gościu zrobił totalną
Okay, so to
essę.
make a game like Vampire Survivors, we need enemies. Lots of enemies. Vampire Survivors is maxed at around 300 enemies, but I want to do thousands of them. So first off, we just make a quick test map with some obstacles. Next up is the enemy, which is just a red bean, but he's a solid and reliable boy. So we're going to program a brain for him.
Ej, kurwa, gość giga w ogóle spoko, nie? Jeżeli on to montował, to mi się mega ten montaż podoba. To jest po prostu taki... takie joke'i, które, że tak powiem, tutaj są wrzucane, zajebiste to jest. Aż sam bym chciał mieć takie wyczucie do montażu.
To make him a conscious red bean. Okay, we now have red bean following a target, so next up we need to make them follow the player. Alright, what kind of player should we make? Maybe like a cool robot or like a protagonist that's like a half human, half bean. Green bean. Now we can run around the world and the enemies are following me around while avoiding obstacles, but this is only like 30 beans, so let's see how many we can handle. 1,000 beans. I'm sure nothing will go wrong. Okay, we had some technical difficulties, but we now have 1,000 beans following the targets. It's definitely impacting the frame rate a little bit, and you can see some weird jittering in between the beans. So I'm going to use my special technique now, delete everything and try again. Idiots. This time, instead of using pathfinding, let's try...
O Jezu, jak to znam, ze względu na to, że programuję, jak bardzo ja czasami zaglądam na rzeczy, które zrobiłem i mam ochotę po prostu, wiecie, wypieprzyć wszystko i zacząć od nowa.
Physics. Everyone loves physics. Look at these 1,000 beans and tell me you don't love them. You do. So our bean 2.0 will have a rigid body, capsule collider, and a simple brain. Since this
Zagrasz moją grę. Coś nie ufam.
brain will be running on thousands of enemies simultaneously, we need to make it very simple. So we're gonna make it literally just move towards the player. Perfect. Alright, let's test it out and see how well it... Okay, we now have a physics-based enemy moving
Po prostu
towards the
jestem
player.
nieufny.
For all my technical boys out there, here's how it's optimized. We use a centralized controller to tick every single enemy instead of using update in every unit. And so with our new system, let's try 3,000 beans. But first, make sure to wish this Megabonk on Steam or Mr. Bones will be very angry, and you don't want to make him angry. Okay, time for 3,000 enemies. Here we go. So Unity got nuked, but I've fixed it now and here we have 3,000 enemies. This is running a lot smoother and feels much better
Może to
than
profesjonalne zboczenie, ale zastanawiam się, jak był w stanie tutaj przejść te ograniczenia silnika, nie?
the previous approach, and there's no more weird collisions. Also, I think the coolest thing about this, which is just a happy accident, is how they will stack and create this terrifying mountain of enemies.
Ta,
which happens
miałem to
because of the
dzisiaj.
physics. But now you can see the downside to this approach. Walls. Wait, what? While I was working on the enemies, I realized that you can just camp on walls and enemies get stuck. How do you think I fixed this? Climbed. Yeah, we're gonna climb. And the result is terrifying. It is really simple to code. Basically, if wall, climb. And here's what happened. Haha! I can just hide on this wall. Oh, no. This is super fun, but the unexpected bug is that the enemies started climbing on each other, ayo, and they formed these giant swarms. It's not a bug, it's a feature. This accidentally turned out to be a really fun mechanic, and the beans are approximately 1000 times scarier now.
Ej, no, ale to jest fakt, przecież kurde, ja dosłownie dzisiaj miałem taką sytuację, że ja uciekałem, wybijałem wszystko z przodu, a z tyłu to mi się tak nastakowało, ja mówię, kuźwa, żeby to na mnie nie zdążyło spaść, nie? Żebym zdążył to wybić. Czyli to wychodzi na to chyba, że to jest coś, co gościu na początku chciał sfiksować, ale stwierdził, ej, w sumie to będzie zajebiste. No ciekawy jest w ogóle ten proces twórczy tutaj.
There is nowhere to run from the beans. Now, since the game is currently just beans running around, let's work a bit on graphics. So let's create the player model. I started with the concept art. I'm not an artist, okay? But trust the process. Now we open up Blender and start modeling the 3D mesh. Don't forget the level 100 cake. Next up, we do the colors and textures. This would probably be easier if I wasn't colorblind, so I asked ChatGPT to help me. That looks better. Probably. Okay, yeah. Finally, we do the animations. Oh, Okay, there we go. And by putting it all together, here is the beautiful result. Here is the beautiful result.
Te odgłosy łamania kości. Jezu, jakie to jest zajebiste.
Now let's throw him off a building. I'm sorry, child. Just know, this hurts me more than it hurts you. Okay, now let's make him look bad. By using a...
Ej, ale jednego... Musiałbym odpalić Megabonka, już nie chce mi się tego weryfikować, ale czy faktycznie jest tutaj taki efekt wasted? W sensie, że faktycznie jeżeli postać zginie, to ona robi się taka wiotka? Jakby to jest zbyt emocjonujące podczas grania, żeby to przyuważyć, ale się zastanawiam, czy to zostało.
Vertex snapping shader by leaky fingers, we can get that old school look. Why do I spend so much time and effort making the graphics intentionally look worse? Now, that's a great question. Alright, now let's make a new enemy
Dobre
model.
pytanie,
Make a
zapiszmy je i
freaky
przejdźmy
bald-headed
dalej.
enemy. That's a terrible idea. I'm not gonna add it. I bet you won't. First we make the 3D model in Blender, then we export to Substance Painter and draw the texture. Wait, it's kinda dirty. That's better. Now import it into Unity and create the animations. Done! That was pretty easy and fast to make, no problem. And now, because of Quantum Goober 84, the first and only enemy in my game is this freak. Thanks man. But I realized a pretty big problem. I made this animation, but it looks kind of weird because the enemy looks bad, but the animation looks very smooth. So I solved this by duplicating the keyframes to prevent the animations from smoothly lerping, and this creates a low FPS style animation, which looks terrible. Perfect. Okay, now let's try running our game again with 3...
Jestem ciekawy, czy te postacie występują w grze. Czy też je usuną, nie? Ale generalnie, Jezu, ten film ma 9 minut, to jest taka... Jak sam Megabonk dostarcza mega dużo dopaminku, to tutaj i montaż, i wszystko, i w ogóle cały proces twórczy, zajebiste to jest, mega mi się to podoba. Zresztą widzicie, że mam banana na ryju cały czas.
1000 enemies. I'm sure it's gonna run just fine and nothing will go wrong. This is a big problem. My game is running at 0.25 FPS. What does that even mean? Huh? A PowerPoint presentation would look better, guys.
No i cyk, i AAA developer by powiedział, no jest, to nada się na DLSS. Gdzie widzisz problem?
The problem is that animations in games are expensive because each enemy is a deformable mesh, which means you can do things like this, and this, and this. Wait, no, don't do that. What the hell? Now, this is cool and all, but it's hard on your computer, and your computer is not very happy about it. In fact, your computer is on fire. You should probably do something about that. So instead of using a deformable mesh, we can use a very powerful technique, baking the animations. No, stop that. Not in the oven. What are you doing? Take it out of the oven. Basically, we take each of the animation frames, save them as meshes, and just cycle through them on the enemy objects. It's kind of like a flipbook animation. It's just an illusion. And finally, with our freshly baked animations straight out of the oven, we can try running the game again with 3000 enemies. I'm sure everything will go according to plan and nothing will go wrong. Yeah, it's working very well. Why are you surprised? Weirdo? Alright, now we can have...
Czyli ja w game developerce nie siedzę, nie znam się na tym, ale czyli zamienił animacje typowo renderowane przez komputer, tak, na predefiniowane jakby obrazek, który mi cały czas robi lupa. No, ciekawy trik optymalizacyjny. Ciekawy jestem, czy ogólnie w grach jest coś takiego.
Thousands of enemies in the game with no problem. So now comes the fun part and the big question on everyone's mind. How many enemies can I add to my game before my computer explodes? 1,000. This is easy. 2,000. No problem. 3,000. The FPS is starting to drop a little bit. Also, what does that smell? 4,000. Oh, it's my computer. It's smoking. 5,000. Okay, now it's burning. I think my computer's burning. 10,000. Yeah, it's definitely burning. Maybe I should get some water or something. 20,000. Yeah, so 10,000 enemies is pretty much just a slideshow, which is kind of to be expected, but at least the game didn't crash, which I think is kind of impressive. If you want to try out this slideshow for yourself, the free demo is available right now, so go play it and tell me what you think. And also make sure to wish this Megabug on Steam while you're at it, because that just helps me out, and it's cool.
Ej, kurna, tych przeciwników nie widziałem. Naprawdę się zastanawiam, czy oni są po prostu w jakichś kolejnych fazach, czy ich trzeba może odblokować. Czy to się po prostu tak zmieniło od tego dema.
More than 1,000 enemies anyway. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this devlog. There's more coming, so subscribe.
Czekaj, chcę zobaczyć.
I think it's
No, za daleko.
expected, but a slideshow for yourself.
Dobra, mamy szkieletony.
The free demo is available right now,
No tego nie... Chociaż nie, jest. Te są tylko w wersji zielonej.
so go play it and tell me
No tego nie ma.
what you think. And also make sure to wish this Mega
No ciekawe, czy to wywalił w trakcie developmentu. Ciekawy materiał. Powiem wam, że 9 minut niecałe, ale naprawdę dobre. Nie sądziłem, że z developmentu gry można zrobić taki ciekawy materiał. Taki, no w ogóle te optymalizacje, o których on tu wspominał, ja jestem naprawdę zdziwiony, że tak się optymalizuje, a przynajmniej w tym, co on tu zrobił, że w taki sposób można zoptymalizować, żeby więcej enemisów zrespić. Swoją drogą ciekawe, na jakim komputerze on to renderował, nie? Bo udało mu się to wyrenderować wszystko, ale ciekawe w sumie na jakim komputerze, bo tego akurat nie wspomniał. No wiadomo, w tych klipach był laptop, więc może na laptopie, bo to różnie czasami bywa, ale myślę, że po prostu na jakimś lepszym kompie to robił, nie? Spoko, fajne, podobało mi się. Nie sądziłem, że tak to siądzie.